In the last two videos, we looked at how you could set up correct answer quizzes and range score quizzes. In this video, I want to show you how you can create a categorical quiz. A categorical quiz can be anything from those sort of like which character are you from a particular show, or it could even be a personality test. So in this short episode, I'm going to create a very simple which Star Wars character are you quiz, and hopefully that will show you how you can come up with your own ideas. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to click New Flow up here, and I'm going to go with Embedded Form again. And let's just call this Star Wars Quiz. So the widget type is embedded, that's right, and then I'm just going to grab a random property. Again, this is my test account, so this is all fake. Unless you've set up multiple properties, which may mean you have multiple websites you're running or something like that, you won't have this property option. So you can just ignore that if you don't have it. Over here on the right, this time we're going to choose categorical quiz type, and because we're doing a categorical, we need to specify what the possible outcomes are. So let's go ahead and just do something really simple. So we'll do Luke Skywalker, we'll do Han Solo, Princess Leia, if I'm spelling that right, and then Darth Vader. Okay, so now we've got those four things. We just need to click Create Flow, and all of that should save. So I've showed you in the first video in this little series, which I'll link to down in the description, how to set up the basic questions. So I'm not going to make you rewatch all of that. I'm going to do that off camera, and then when we get back, I will show you how to actually add the different score changes for categories and so on. So I've set up a few quick questions here for this quiz. I'm not a Star Wars expert, so don't hold it against me if you are. But this should show you how you can actually set these quizzes up. So this first question, in a space battle, what would be your weapon of choice? So this is kind of obvious too. Like, I wouldn't say this is a great question and answer flow necessarily for this type of quiz, but because it's not very subtle, but it'll show you how everything works. So what we want to do is say, okay, let's say the answer is laser gun. We want to adjust the amount by 10, let's call it, for Princess Leia. I don't think she's a lightsaber person. And then when the answer is laser gun, we'll do the answer is 10 for Han Solo. And then let's come down here and say when the answer is lightsaber, we will go 10 for Luke Skywalker. And same thing for Darth Vader. So laser gun, lightsaber, same thing, 10 for Darth Vader. So basically, if you answer laser gun, you're tied for Princess Leia and Han Solo at this point. If you answer lightsaber, you're tied for Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. So the way this test basically works is each question should analyze a different aspect and adjust the score in different ways. Another thing is you don't have to use 10. You can use any number you want. So for example, maybe you add 5 for a particular character for some reason. Anyway, I'll leave that to you, but this is how I'm setting this up. Let's go over to the next question. How good of a pilot are you? If the answer is amazing, we'll say 10 for Luke Skywalker. If the answer is amazing, we'll say 10 for Han Solo. If it's amazing, we'll also add 10 for Darth Vader. And we'll add 10, if the answer is average. And I have no idea how good of a pilot Princess Leia is, so if she's an amazing pilot, this isn't a good question. But if it's average, Princess Leia, increment by 10. So let's leave that like that. And then how do you feel about blowing up planets? Another stupid question, but you know, I'm coming up with this on the fly basically. So if the answer is I'm for it, we'll adjust the amount of 10 for Darth Vader, not Princess Leia. If it's hate it, 10 for Luke Skywalker, same thing, hate it, 10 for Princess Leia. And then maybe, and I don't know if Han Solo is actually indifferent on this issue or not, but if he's indifferent, he's going to have to be for this quiz, otherwise it doesn't work. So we'll say if the answer is indifferent, change Han Solo by 10. So you can see that basically these questions sort of push you in different directions based on how you answer them into particular categories. So now what can we do? Well, first of all, let's just do a sanity check and make sure this works. And you'll see what I mean in a second. So we're gonna add a step here. I'm gonna come down here and put a paragraph. And in our paragraph, we're just gonna simply say you got quiz result. Okay, so we'll save that, and we'll look at how this could work differently in just a minute, because I know that's kind of not satisfying as an outcome. So we'll take a crack at sprucing it up a bit in just a moment. So let's open this in a new tab here. So which Star Wars character are you? Find out now. Start the quiz. Okay, in a space battle, what would your weapon of choice be? So let's say we do laser gun. How good of a pilot are you? I'm average. And how do you feel about blowing up planets? Hate it. So you got Princess Leia. Let's try that a few different times, and we'll need to open an incognito window. Let's just kind of play around with, like, what happens if we pick some sort of answers that are not as obvious, just to kind of play around for a second. So let's say we start the quiz, like laser guns, I'm an average pilot, and I'm for blowing up planets. So we still got Princess Leia. So this is why you need longer quizzes with more subtlety in how the answers work, because Princess Leia is definitely not for blowing up planets, but she got the other two answers. So anyway, that gives you some idea of the drawbacks if you do a really, really short quiz. So let's take a look at technically what we can do instead of this. So I'm going to add a few steps here. And let's just say, let's add 4 steps. And you'll see why in just a second. Okay, so you know whenever you complete some kind of personality test, they give you some kind of like report basically of what all of that means for you and what you should do about it and so on and so forth. There's all kinds of tests like this, and they all do different things, but at the end of it you expect to get some kind of description that makes you feel like, oh yeah, these people understand me, or they tell you something interesting about yourself. So instead of just saying like you got quiz result here, which is this, in this case it's a variable, so it's dynamic, we can just say you got, let's say, Darth Vader, right? And imagine that you write out a whole bunch of text here specifically for what that means, or you put an image of Darth Vader or whatever. Like, you could do that as well. I'm not going to do that here for the sake of simplicity, but I want to show you the technical way that you can do this. So we'll add a paragraph here. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to switch to off camera so that you guys don't have to watch me do all of this. So we'll just say you got Luke Skywalker, not Skywhaler. That would be a new one. Okay, so I'll do the other 2 off camera, and I'll be right back. So now we have 4 steps at the end. You got Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo. So what we can do is, on this last step where we actually have a question, step 4, we can say we're going to create an action, and we're going to skip to a step. Okay, and let's say we want to skip to step 5 next, and I think step 5 is Darth Vader. So if quiz result is equal to Darth Vader, we can go ahead and click finish here, and you'll see how this works. And I'm only going to do like a couple of these because that's obviously really repetitive, but you see if quiz result is equal to Darth Vader, skip to step 5. So let's do one more action, and we'll say skip to step. So step 6 is Luke Skywalker, so skip to step is the action we want to take. We want to go to step 6, and if the quiz result is equal to Luke Skywalker. Okay, so let's give this a try like this. So let me see if I've still got an incognito window open. Nope. So I'm going to preview this, open link, and new incognito window. So now I've got to answer like Luke or Darth Vader. So we'll pick a lightsaber because that basically sets you up for that. So lightsaber, I'm an amazing pilot, and I'm for blowing up planets, and now we should get that we got Darth Vader. Cool, so that works. And again, you know, we're just simply saying you got Darth Vader, but now what we're set up to do is put images and videos and other, like whatever you want that's specific to this personality type or quiz outcome, you can put it on this element here and basically kind of have like a results page for each thing. Now, this gets really complicated if you've got, you know, like 15 different outcomes or something. Your quiz is going to be super long and you're going to have a lot of outcome pages. In that case, you might actually want to redirect to totally different, like custom pages that you create in WordPress or something, because you don't have to skip this step here. You could redirect to a different URL if they're Darth Vader. So one last thing here that I want to do, because this is sort of an essential element, is what if we want to capture contact info in order to show the result? So I'm adding a step here, and it's going to put it all the way at the end, and I need to drag it back over. So put that here, right? We're going to fix that so it's not always reloading the page whenever it saves. It's because it makes it a little bit jerky. So we've got some, as I said in a previous video, we're definitely working on some user interface elements here. So what we want to do is just say something like, let's add some rich text. And again, it's going to be a little bit jerky. So we've got rich text here. We're going to say, I don't know, you want to handle this in a classy way, but I'm not going to here because I don't really know exactly what I would say. But the principle is the same, which is just something like, want your quiz result, let's say, ready to see how you scored. You know, something like that. Make it bold, heading, and then something like, join our, this is not the way I would write opt-in copy in real life, but basically I'm trying to show you what you could do, but you need to make this sound better, obviously. So we'll save that here. And so now we've got our ready to see how you scored. We'll just add an email, and we'll need to add a, we need to speed up our testing server because it's a little bit slow here. So email and maybe first name. And you would obviously integrate this with your, you know, like if you have ConvertKit or MailChimp or something like that, you would, at this point, you would actually go ahead and integrate. But we're also going to say we're going to skip to our step. So I'm going to skip to step 5. If the quiz result is equal to Darth Vader. And then we'll also do the same thing for Luke Skywalker, and we'll remove it from the previous one. Hopefully this all makes sense and I'm not confusing you. So we'll skip to step 6 if the quiz result is equal to Luke Skywalker. So now what we're going to do, you know what, that's actually wrong and I apologize. Now that we've added this element in here, that's no longer step 6. So that's interesting. So we need to redo those. I'm going to go ahead and just remove these really fast since we're here, and so that way you're not confusing ourselves with this. So I'm going to just off camera, I'm going to recreate these actions here so that you see where we're going. And then we'll try it out one more time. Okay, so I think I have this sorted out now. So you can see just from front to back, start the quiz, 3 questions. We saw how to set all of that up. Ready to see how you scored, join our email list, first name and email. Those are going to be required. You just double check that. They're required. Yep, they're both required. Then we say if the quiz result is equal to Darth Vader, skip to step 6. And same thing for Luke Skywalker, skip to step 7. And I added a quick picture in here so you can see how this works. So let's try this one more time in an incognito window. I'm going to open a new one here. Open link in new incognito window. Okay, so we'll start the quiz. And we will say, in a space battle, I would use a lightsaber. I'm an amazing pilot. And I hate blowing up planets. And so it's going to say, yeah, I want to show you how you scored, but I need your contact info. So we'll say Steven at leadjetty.com. And now it should tell me I'm Luke Skywalker. So that is pretty cool. So you could definitely work on making this look a bit better here in this particular flow, or you could actually just, as I said before, redirect to a totally different custom page if that makes more sense to you. In any case, that's essentially how to do all of the core things here. As I said earlier, we're definitely going to be working on straightening up the user interface a bit more. I think it's pretty easy to use, minus the fact that it jumps around a little bit once you get a lot of steps. So we'll get that straightened up. And anyway, all of that said, I'll be creating tons more videos. So if you like this or you want to learn more, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on new things that are coming out. And with that said, I'll talk to you next time.